Hello friends, to the another lecture on construction management and law, and today we will see the importance of site planning in the construction activities. So you can see a rough place, might be a site for any kind of mega project. So looking toward the undulations, the level and all the things, how important it is to plan and all the scheduled activities, plan and how important the scheduled activities and get the topographical details that we will see now. So site planning. Planning is an important part of the construction management, and planning and scheduling of construction activities help engineers and the entire team to complete the project in time and within the budget. Thus, management of resources such as men, material, machineries requires effective planning and scheduling of each activity. See, planning is very important as far as any project is concerned. If we have proper planning, then we can proceed with the proper estimation, and with the available facilities we can complete the project in time. And we have seen in last lecture only that the extension of time leads to a overrunning of budget. So that is a very important aspect of the construction work, that site planning is very much important. Now exactly what is site planning, what it is exactly? Site planning is the allocation of functions in a piece of land to derive efficient utilization of resources at disposal. Useful spaces with respect to functions are being created in the process, and the character of site is accentuated. Okay, so basically it is the process of identifying the proper site, useful spaces with respect to functions. That site planning comes under the utilization of resources disposal, then useful spaces identification and utilizing of proper planning, so that we can have a proper estimate and further process can be achieved very smoothly. In other words, that planning tends to tell us that a site planning is the organization of an area of a land, fit a program for its development which is efficient, express the character of the site and provides attractive space to use. For example, let us consider that we have to build a house in a previously I have shown a slide that undulated site. So it is better to thoroughly study the site and get all the topographical details of the site, and unless and until we do this, we cannot plan it properly, and with the knowledge of available resources, manpower and machineries, with this only we can execute a good project. So that is site planning is very much important. Now purposes of the site plannings are to learn and practice a logical method of fitting design programs and sites harmoniously, to understand how natural factors, landscape, social economic forces, planning and technological functions, architecture and engineering interact in the design process, and to understand the importance of graphic and verbal communication skill. That is a very important one. Now in the continuation of the purpose, to learn and practice logical method of fitting design, program and site harmoniously, and in that just now we have seen that, and also to understand interaction of the following factors such as landscape, planning, architecture, and these are the three aspects where the natural factors comes under the landscape, where socio-economic forces coming in the planning, and technological parameters are coming under the architecture and engineering. Now to understand the site development process by observing natural and human factors affecting the norms, basically to understand the site development process by observing natural and human factors affecting the form and appearance of the environment, that we need to take care very criticizely. To collect information and data concerning planning or design issues, to classify and analyze the data, to make recommendation for issue at hand, to draw guidelines for planning, architecture and landscape disciplines. So these are the main purpose of site planning, where three factors we must keep in mind for landscaping, planning and engineering and architecture. Now where is the scope? So in the client's program, in the background research, site survey for natural factors, site survey for human factors, then program analysis, then site analysis. Now what is the exact meaning of site analysis we will see further. Then in site analysis, natural factors, then human factors, again visual and spatial analysis. So in the site assessment there are three segments. First one is site selection, then site analysis and site development. So these are the three aspects of the any construction project. Selection of site, it is based on the after that site analysis and site development, it is the entire process comes under the site assessment. Now, site inventory, the physical attribute that tells us that the purpose of site inventory is the quick assessment of site to identify potentially significant site assets and liabilities, develop a base map for land planning and design. Now you can see the physical attributes such as topography, soil, climate, precipitation, temperature, wind. For example, I am about to construct my own house in the newly located area in the city, where so I must, as an engineer, as a project manager, or as a site supervisor, as the owner, I must have a knowledge of the site regarding topography, regarding the nature of the soil, cohesive, black bottom, or etc., regarding the climate in the area, the record of past precipitation, the temperature effect, and the wind intensity. This knowledge I must have. So these are the prerequisite of the all site inventory, in which elevation, slope, and aspect, these are the very important. This knowledge we must have as a construction engineer. So elevation, scope, and aspect in the topography, this knowledge is very much important. Now in the site analysis, it's an inventory completed as preparatory step to site planning, a form of urban planning which involves research, analysis, and synthesis. It primarily deals with basic data as it relates to a specific site. The topic itself branches into boundaries of architecture, landscape, engineering, and real estate development. Along with that, economics and urban planning disciplines. Site analysis is an element in site planning and design. See, Kevin Lynch, an urban planner, developed an 8-cycle step process for site design, in which the second step is site analysis. In the 8 cycle step given by Kelvin Lynch, it is the second step of site analysis. In the last, I will give you some reference and authors, in which I'll tell you the details regarding the best books to use for this content. Now, in the site analysis, analysis for building site, which includes the assessment of its better future as well as its constraints and liabilities. So it is good to analyze it for the better features as well as its constraints. Then land planning projects in mountainous regions require data of topographic slope, elevation, aspect, wherein the attributes may be insignified on the level terrain. In the may entail different kinds of evaluation, that is, information contain the site physical, biological, and cultural attributes. These attributes influence the suitability of site for proposed users. Where the proposed use of the site is predetermined, and site analysis and site planning are concerned with determining how best the proposed use can be lifted to the site. Whenever a site is to be developed for a particular building program, two sets of factors are to be considered. Site factors, those related to the characteristic of the site, and second one, those who are relating to the proposed use of the site. See, first factor is of the physical attributes and the characteristics, availability, resources, manpower, technical things, machineries, then these things, and second will be the utilization of the site after construction. These are the two factors. Okay. In the process, it is divided into three phases. First one is the research, second is the analysis, and third one is the synthesis. Okay, so we'll see one by one. The first will be the research. As we know, research is all about collecting the entire database, and the first step is define a problem, and its definition usually taken care by architect. So the architect, those who are been assigned as a architect of the entire project, so he look after the entire research work, collecting database, the past history and all. And it is then next step is the analysis phase. The next step involves integration, site uses, functions, applicability, resources, all the things, and numerous site effects related to site visit, access, shape, surroundings are being studied and then analyzed. And finally the synthesis phase. See, after analysis, the program is developed as solution to the problem at hand. These phases deals with systematic design of site plan. So the entire site plan consists of chronology of steps. After synthesis, then development of designs and detailed cost estimation, then preparation of construction documents for the plan, then building and contracting for the project, then construction, and then occupation and management of the site. See, for example, I can relate this terminology with the simple G+3 construction or any personal property or personal house construction. First of all, you have to do the research. You have to identify the problem, get the detailed information, then proper planning you have to do, then proper site information you have to assess and give it to the higher or any engineer or architect, then development of plans and detailed estimate of the construction, then preparation of the documents, contracts and all the things, then identifying the people, okay, and all the things, then contract project and then construction work, then monitoring, supervision, finally the handing over to the personal owner. This is the all phase regarding the synthetic phase. Okay, now the goals of site analysis. Okay, to achieve the successful design, site analysis is must and should be done carefully. Okay, and site analysis involves taking an inventory of site elements and analyzing this factor related to the client's needs and aims. Gather relevant information about properties of the site, from topography to climate to wind pattern and vegetation, and then analyze these features and incorporate them into the design. See, there has to be a goals for the site analysis. First one is it should have been done very carefully. Then it involves taking an inventory of site, just like clients needs. We need to, as an engineer, we need to understand the requirement of the clients, their purpose of the construction, their needs, and as per that we need to gather the relevant information about the property from the site, then the locality, just like the past record, precipitation, topography, geological all information, vegetation, and then analyzing the old data we need to inculcate in the design. Okay, now elements of the site analysis. The first one is location. Okay, just like location, topography, from that we have that the site should be related to existing roads and landmark. Time and distances from major nodes should be recorded. Neighborhood content. Zoning of the neighborhood is important and information could be found with municipal authorities. Numerous issues, architectural pattern, street lighting, condition of existing building must be observed. This would also include the immediate surrounding of the site. The reaction of the surrounding building towards the site and people moving around it should be analyzed. Then subsurface features. This includes analysis of the following: geology, geological history of the area, bedrock type, depth, etc. Then hydrology, underground water table, aquifers, springs, etc. And then soil genesis, erosion of susceptibility, moisture bearing capacity. Now, so after that we will see one by one. First of all, that in the location they have said that the location of the existing site, as far as the existing roads are concerned, any nearby landmarks, so that approach can be made very easily, and time and distance from the major node should be recorded. How far it is from airport, how far it is from the railway station, it should be noted. Then the neighborhood context. In that they have said that the zoning of the neighborhood is important and the database is available with the nearby authorities and municipal authorities. Architectural pattern, street lighting is there or not, condition of existing building, whether they are new or old, whether, how much area is crowded, this kind of information we can get from there. Okay, and the subsurface features like geology, the soil condition. Before for example, we have come to know that there is a black cotton soil, then we need to go for deep foundations. Such kind of foundation engineering details, and which helps for the foundation and construction work, the bedrock type, the depth of the water table inside the earth, so that well we can have, and soil genesis. So entire things we need to take into consideration. Then these are the elements of site analysis, where location, neighborhood context, and subsurface features are there. Okay, natural surface features, just like topographic feature of the site, just like contour map, where how much elevation is there, the undulations on the surface, trees, ground covers, ground texture, and soil conditions. So this could be directly observed. So as far as natural surface features are concerned, so these things can be directly observed. The study of vegetation should be done in relative type, size, location, shade pattern, aesthetics, ecology. So these things should be considered while deciding all the things. Slope study, undulations, I'm repeating the things again. Slope study, undulation of the surrounding area, grounds, then contour map, detailed gradient landforms, elevation, drainage pattern, water table, or that these things should be considered while having the natural surface features. If you can see that even we have seen earlier, such as air temperature, we need to identify the air temperature, we need to study of air temperature of the proposed site. Then solar radiation, they are not much influence, but we must have knowledge of it. Then air movement, then what is the intensity of the air which is flowing around there, so humidity, the past record of precipitation. So all these things, if our proposed site is near to a reservoir or near to a lake or a river, then we must have a knowledge of past precipitation percentage or humidity. So such kind of things, we must have a knowledge that this comes under the climatic parameters. Now man-made features, in that again, synthesis of site selection, we are coming under the man-made features. Now in that, buildings, walls, fences, patios, plazas, bus stops, shelters shall be carefully recorded so that the approach can be made very easily. Then size and zoning, land use of the site, adjacent zone, adjacent use, zoning restrictions where the school zone or silent zone or traffic zone is there, we need to assess that, easement, etc. And then site boundaries can be located by either verifying dimension physically or through map. Okay, then development controls such as MOS, height restriction, ground coverage. If there is an airport nearby, then we cannot make a tower there. Such kind of zoning classification, zoning map to be produced from the city. So these are the things we need to consider. In circulation, linkages, nodes, use of street road patterns, street alleys. Then utilities, whether there is a power facility available or not, sewer line is available or not, then gas network, water supply. So these kind of things while site planning we must have keep in mind so that the problems can be minimized. Okay, then sensory, in aerial photography, sketching, visual surveys and other methods of direct observation to be employed. Sensory elements such as noise, odors, smoke and pollutant. So there should not be nearby dumping yard, there should not be near a polluted thing. So these are the things we need to record very carefully. Okay, then human and cultural points such as essential data to be used for social factors such as population, the area density, sex ratio, occupation pattern, affinity, cultural typology. So these are the things also human and culture we need to consider. Now climate, it's a very important point in the survey. Information of precipitation, for example, just now I told that if your proposed site is nearby a reservoir or a dam, then you must have a knowledge of past precipitation ratio in percentage. Okay, how much precipitation is there, then annual rainfall or snow if you are constructing a Shimla, Himachal something. So you must have a knowledge of that, humidity, wind direction, solar intensity, orientation. All these are the things, average, minimum and maximum temperature throughout the year. So this can be obtained through the local weather services. Then rainfall, humidity, temperature over months must be recorded. So this database we must have. Okay, then aesthetic factors on visual analysis, then scenic view, flora and fauna, rock formation, water bodies, green cover, valleys, river and mountains. So add to the value of site, and any such features if available shall need call designing a preferential locations. So these are the things we must need to consider. Okay, and now in the hard landscape element we have steps and paving, then walls and fences, slopes and barriers, the stones and boulders. Okay, and in soft landscape element we have trees and scrub. So this knowledge we must have while planning, while executing the planning on the paper. So in the steps and paving, the air crossing hard reflective or absorptive surfaces like parking slots, sidewalks is one. The choice of surface finishing material and construction steps and paving can play a significant role in the reduction of ground temperature. Absolutely. Then walls and fences, then walls are used to deflect the wind, it can divert the direction of wind, they can be used channel to the wind. Walls are usually solid while fences are made from the stakes, rails, wires, netting, etc. Fences does allow some wind to flow through them, even they have climbers. Okay, then slopes and barriers, the use of slopes and barriers to direct airflow can be very effective on sites with significant variation in the topography. Stones and boulders can be arranged to direct airflow and provide shade. So stones and boulders can also be used for the hard landscape of the element. In the terms of soft landscape element, now trees and shrubs. So trees and shrubs are the most significant in the provision of shades and the control of relatively humidity and air movements. They contribute thermal comfort than any other element. Ventilation is affected by plant materials. Air passing through trees and plant must be cool. So these are the things. Okay, and as I have told you in the beginning that these are the few authors have given very significant information and very deep regarding the site planning. Even Lanchke and Hackg is one of the best. I am referring for that. I suggest you to download this even and refer this for the detailed information. Most of the part is covering the architectural design, but as a civil engineer you also must have basic knowledge of all the things. So today we have seen the site selection and planning. Okay, now I will take the just recap of all the things. So site planning we have seen, then exactly what planning in another word, that is the organization of land fit programs. Okay, then these are the purposes we have seen, what is the purpose, then landscape, then planning. Okay, then the importance of graphic and verbal communication skill, then program site harmoniously, then eco, then socio-economic forces planning, that comes under the socio economic forces in architecture and engineering that interact with the design process, and natural factors comes in the landscape. Then purposes we have seen, natural factors, socio-economic, then technological functions that we have seen, then scope in natural, artificial, the site survey, human factors, natural factors, all these things. Then three segments we have seen, the site selection, site analysis and site development. These are the three main aspects of construction. Before then detail the site inventory, topography, soil, climate, precipitation, temperature, wind, physical attributes we have seen, analysis and factors. Then process we have seen, starting with the research, analysis, synthesis. Okay, then goals, then location, neighborhood context, then subsurface features, natural surface features. All these are the segment climatic parameters that we are the man-made features, sizing, zoning, circulation, utilities means the sources available, then sensory, human and cultural, climate, the information regarding climate of proposed site, aesthetic and user. Then the landscape elements, walls, slopes, stones, and then for soft trees and scrub. Okay, so these are the things regarding the site selection and the site analysis. I hope you understand it. Okay, thank you.